Yo, this is Tony Vlaco's Team TV, baby. The winner of Survivor Cagayan Season 28. This is Survivor Talk with D&D. I'll be listening to you guys from my spy shack. I hope you put on a great show like you always do. Peace.
Hey everybody, this is Dwaine.
And this is David.
And we're just two best friends. Oh, and Shatia. The one you just heard. Shatia. We're just two best friends with a special guest talking about the show we love, Survivor. Tonight is our listener feedback show for episode 3 of Survivor San Juan del Sur, Actions versus Accusations. What'd you think, David? Great show?
Yes, this is going to be a great show. That's what I'm predicting it already.
It is, because we have the Rice Queen herself. Guard your rice, guard your drinks, guard whatever you have with you while you're watching or listening, because we have Shatia Taylor with us. Say hello to everybody, Shatia.
Hello, that's right. Hide everything you hold dear and precious, because I will destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
Try.
See, it's already a great show. Already starting off good.
Actually, you know, we'll be really nice to her, so she won't have any reason to do that. We're not going to, like, talk about her or threaten to kick her off the show or anything, so she'll have no reason. She'll have no reason to do that.
That's right.
Exactly.
Hey, we want to thank you for starting your Amazon shopping using our link over at stwdd.com, or, of course, on our Facebook group. Shatia is part of our Facebook group. Yeah. And as always, our special guest tonight, I already told you that. If you would like to support our show, you can do it. Just go to our website and hit the support link and go for it there. So later on in the show, David, we have Miko's challenge, and I took the challenge tonight, David, with my wife. My wife quizzed me, and it was a doozy of a challenge.
To explain to Shatia, we've got one listener who loves to pull random quotes out of each episode and test us to see if we knew who said them. And then he throws in 5 bonus questions to see if we have any knowledge of what actually happened in the show.
Yeah.
So he's got a little challenge going where we take turns answering the questions each week.
Yeah. I am winning 17-12.
You are stomping me because you did really well last week.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good record.
Yeah. So, anyway. Do what, Shatia? What?
I said David pretty much sucks, right?
Well, he also had to do a 90-minute episode where Dwaine got a 60-minute episode.
Oh, here he goes again. See, Shatia, he's a sore loser.
I am.
He is.
I would burn your buffs, Dwaine, right now if I could reach over there and do that. They'd be toast.
David would
have like a deathmatch episode where you guys just go.
Yeah, exactly. David would not only throw out my rice, he'd burn all my buffs.
That's right.
He'd do it all.
I'd put you in the buff by burning everything, buddy. So.
And then, of course, at the end of the episode, we'll also have our D&D challenge, Survivor Challenge points. But right now, my friends, we have Shatia. And Shatia just got back from, where were you, Okinawa? Where were you? Vietnam. Okinawa.
Yeah.
Okinawa.
Same continent.
Yeah, it's over there.
Over
there. Now, when you go to Vietnam, do you go you go, like, west, right? That's how you get there? You don't go east, you go west.
Yes, go.
Probably not that long of a trip, is it?
No, it's a long trip. It's a very long trip.
Is it like 15 hours or something?
It was broken up into 2 legs, so I flew to Seattle, then Seattle to Korea, and then Korea to Vietnam. So
oh, wow.
Like a 13-hour flight and then a 4-hour flight. So it's a doozy.
I used to live in Okinawa. I was 1. So when I moved back to the States when I was 3, I could speak Japanese. Now I can't.
Really?
Like a 3-year-old.
Yeah, well, 3-year-old Japanese. I don't know what it means, but I'm sure it means something. Anyway.
It's feed me. That's what it probably means.
So, Shatia, you got back from your long trip, and the first thing you did, because you're a big Survivor fan, right?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Whew. Good thing.
I was very sad.
No.
I DVR'd it. I was actually gone I left Wednesday for the premiere, so I was out. I was out of the country, and I tried to DVR and like watch it for my DVR, but I couldn't. So I binged when I got back.
Yeah. So you binged the first 3 episodes, and just, what are your thoughts? Do you like the season so far, or what?
It's very interesting because this is the first season since I've been on, so I look at it very differently. Of course, I like the 20s. I like the 20s from Amazing Race. I think they're cool. I like strong women, so that's my demographic. So, of course, my favorite right now are 20 and Val. So.
Yeah, well, Val didn't last very long.
Yeah, usually the strong women don't last very long either. I mean, if you stand out in any way in the beginning, you're pretty much a target, as I've learned from experience. So I can see the 20s being targeted. They've been on the Amazing Race. They're a known factor.
Right.
Now, of course, I feel like because she was out of the tribe, and then also because she's a woman and a minority, kind of alienated herself. And then she tried to make a big move, and that didn't work, and she went home. So, and now I think, in the beginning, it's like whatever, makes you not part of the group gets you voted out. People are trying to do easy pickings as long as it's not me, and I think we saw that in, these first 3 vote out.
Right.
Hey, did you ever feel in your season that you were gonna have to make a big move before the council came where you did leave? Did you ever feel at any point where you needed to make a really big move like that, like she did?
Oh yeah, so the point was, like, I knew I tried to take the lead on building a shelter, and that was awful, clearly. But I knew when I went to my tribe, I'm like, I'm one of the youngest women, and that is an automatic target on your back. And plus, there's only 6 people, so it's not like you can hide.
Right.
So I knew as soon as I set foot on the beach that I was a target. So I tried to take the lead in building shelter. That didn't go very well. And then I also tried to step up and do the puzzle, and that didn't go very well. So I was always trying to step up because I felt like no matter what, I was going to be a target. So I do kind of commiserate with Val. Like, she was trying, it was go big or go home. Clearly, she was a target with her back. So that's the issue. With the 20, she was, singled out because she was from the Amazing Race. John Rocker, I feel like they jumped on the bandwagon. Survivor's about voting people out. It's about alienating people.
Right.
The best way to get people voted off is to put a target on their back and just, throw rocks and throw rocks and throw rocks and make it seem like the biggest deal ever at the time, because that's what puts, the target on somebody else's back.
Right.
So when I saw this episode, and the 20 that was left, I felt like she was just throwing rocks because she could, because she was piling on. Everybody was piling on. It's easy.
Right. That's what I ended up thinking, was that this was more of a strategic move than it was a personal move. It was more of a, hey, let's get Rocker off,
Oh yeah.
So, and it worked. He's gone.
Yeah, that was one of the best examples of another tribe getting somebody else voted off that they had no control voting off. They singled him out and tried to make him look like the mean target, and it obviously planted seeds in their mind. Exactly, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he didn't help himself. I mean, let's just be.
Yeah, you know what? I don't fault him. You have to realize, like, those people are really starving. Like, not kind of starving, not maybe a little bit high. Like, he was probably losing more than a pound a day. You are really starving. You are not at your best, and I think, like, later seasons of Survivor kind of skip over the starving aspect because, it's kind of like, yeah, we know you're starving, but no, they're starving. Like, that is a big thing that sometimes I feel like they gloss over, but you ain't in your right mind when you're hungry, really.
Yeah, I think he lost 19 pounds. Did you read that, David?
Yeah, in 10 days.
Yeah. That's almost 2 pounds a day. That's like Biggest Loser weight loss.
Yeah, he was adding up the days. He was trying to count down, at least make the merge, and he kept counting and counting, and he thought, I am never going to make the merge, because of just how much he was losing and how hungry he was all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you...
Go ahead, Jatia. No, you got the floor.
Yeah, like, people don't understand that aspect. Like, oh, I would have done this, but you kind of go back to your level, and then these people are screaming at him. I think he honestly tried to help Val. I think he did, but I think it just backfired and there wasn't enough communication, and that's hard too. Like, who do you trust? You never know who to trust.
Right.
Hey, looking at the season so far, other than Val and Nadia, who can't win now, and Natalie, who we kind of think Natalie is in I'm going to go as far as I can, I'm going to have as much fun as I can, and I'm going to cause as much trouble as I can. But she probably is resigned to the fact that she probably can't win because of who she is and how they treated Nadia. Who do you like this season? Who do you think is standing out to you, as whether doesn't have to be a Tony or not, but I mean, who do you think is playing well this season?
I don't know. I mean, like, they're spending a lot of time talking about Jeremy. I like Jeremy. You know, I like him because I like his wife. It's kind of like a package deal to me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But those were the two teams for me that kind of stood out. Everybody else, I don't want to say they're not memorable because, you know, these are the stories that they've showed us so far. So I'm sure more people. I mean, I'm interested in the mother-daughter relationship. See how that. I think. Oh man, her mom. She psyched her mom out with the busted lip, and you know, so that was sort of interesting. But I want to say, like, who jumps out to me as a girl, but I've already said who I feel like jumps out to me as a girl.
Right.
But that might change. I'm excited to see.
Well, Jacqueline doesn't jump out to you. Kelly doesn't jump out to you.
When you say their names, no.
And no faces come to mind, then no.
Obviously, I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Who?
See, I would like.
Hold on. Let me Google it. So.
I think they're getting.
That was kind of mean. So.
All right. I think CBS is getting the edit that they want with the blood versus water emotion and reactions. But somebody like Jeremy, who to me has only had a uncontrolled reaction because of Val. Otherwise, I think everything he's done has been really good and really positive. And leadership-wise, he's made alliances. I would have really liked to seen him play on a new season without blood versus water. But of course, we're getting the blood versus water reaction that they want. But I just think he's somebody that would have done really well on a season of all new players, no theme, no blood versus water. I think Jeremy's one of those people that could have done really well.
And he might still do well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really athletic. He's used to working with people. You know, he seems very likable. It seems like he's the one everybody wants to talk to, you know, so it seems like he has natural leadership. So We'll see. I know they're showing him a lot because there's his wife got voted out and that sort of thing, and I hope it's not let's show him because he won't be here much longer. So I hope it's not one of those sort of things that happens.
Hey, I have a question for you, Jatia, about your season. Did the producers tell you the proper way to wear a buff? The proper way to wear a buff?
No.
Or did they just hand you buffs? Because David's wearing his
buff, and you change your buff position like, you know, many times in a day, whether you need a skirt or a shirt or, it depends. Sometimes you put it over your face if you're messing with the fire, but no, I don't think there's a proper way to wear a buff. However, the ladies on our tribe, we did talk about buff skirts and how we knew we were getting thin when we can make a skirt out of our buffs. So.
Right. Well, we were just noticing how Wes wears his buff, and it was kind of humorous to us. And so David decided he was going to wear his buff the way Wes wears his buff.
I want to join the bad buff wearing club. So Dwaine did it Thursday night, so I thought I'd wear mine with a little ponytail on my headphones and just wear it down the side. I could probably weave it in there.
Just FYI.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so when you went on your season, was it what you expected? Like, I mean, or were you surprised by it?
I didn't know what to expect, so I can't say I was surprised.
Oh, okay.
I think that, yeah. So, I mean, it's not like something you can prepare for. It's really freaking weird. I mean, just the pregame and how that works, and, you know, you're excited and everything, all the background. Like, you don't realize how much background and, you know, stuff is going on in Survivor.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's the biggest thing that you can't prepare for. Like, there's so many aspects and, you know, getting mic'd up and demic'd and waiting and doing this and, you know, getting there. And it's a lot. And that affects. It does affect.
Hey, with all that you know now, would you play again if they asked you today?
absolutely. I mean, the reasons why I want to play the game haven't changed. You know, there's the money motivation, but I like adventure and I like challenges and I like pushing myself. I like seeing what I can do and interacting with people. I'd play Survivor if it wasn't on TV. I'm sure it would suck ass. Suck if it was not on TV, just because of the money aspect and the production. But I mean, I like those sort of things. I like pushing myself. Did I think I would, be the most physically effective person when I got out there? No, because I'm not a marathoner or anything like that. I was not ready for the toll that the outdoors took on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did that drain you not just physically but also emotionally and mentally?
Oh, so it was very funny because I was just looking through some things and I found like my book of strategy and what I was going to do. And the first thing on my list was stay calm, which I excelled at clearly. But that totally did not happen. And I didn't even think about it. But for our tribe, for the first 3 days, if you look at our first challenge, we could barely stand up. And because we didn't drink or eat. We had one bottle of water that they sent us out with. And we, that basically set the tone for our whole tribe. And I don't think they didn't show that, but we were dead in the water. We could barely stand up when we got to the challenge.
Uh-huh. Wow. So you mentioned earlier about you tried to organize and lead them in their building of the shelter. So was this failure on their part, or was it a bad design?
Oh, it was definitely a bad design.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say that. But I mean, we didn't execute well either. But it was mostly the design. I'll go ahead and take that blame.
Yeah, he gave you an out. He tried to.
But what happened was we got there and they said, "Did anybody know how to build a shelter?" And I said, "I have an idea."
Right.
And nobody else said, "Well, I think I know how to do it." So I was like, "Okay, well, we got to try something." Right. Nobody else has any other ideas. So that's what happened. And, once I come up with a plan, I'm going to keep going until we see it's not going to work. And it didn't work. Honestly, I felt like it wouldn't have been as big of a deal if the other things hadn't happened. You know how they shape your character. If the shelter wouldn't have worked, and then I'd have rocked the challenge the next day, it wouldn't have been an issue.
Right. So I guess it kind of makes you wonder why, when there's 5 other people on the tribe that are smart people, why they didn't go, okay, well, let's evaluate what your structural plan is and go, I don't know, Jatia, why don't we try this? I mean, you would have been open to that, right?
Yeah. The next day exactly. I was like, my idea didn't work. Let's try something else. Cass was like, how about this and this and this? We did that. It wasn't a great shelter. It worked. It wasn't great. Right. But, that's the thing. Like, none of us, Cass probably had the most outdoor experience of anybody. Uh-huh. Because she's a rancher.
Yeah.
Who did you click with? With whom did you click?
Yeah.
Right away.
Tasha right away. And when I got to the beach, I put together an alliance, and I looked at people around who was in our group, and I was like, okay, we have to have a definite kind of break. So I was like, okay, the old people against the young people. Will, David and Cass are old, so we'll, have an alliance of the young people. And I think I did that within 5 minutes of being on the beach, because I knew I was going to be in trouble, being the youngest woman. So I clicked with, I never had a problem with Cass on the beach. We were very honest with each other. I know everybody talks about the fight, or this almost fight that we had. But we're both the kind of women who we tell each other how we feel and we move on.
Right.
Yeah, Cass got an edit that she was very honest. She was flat out telling people that they were going to be voted out.
Yeah, she was almost too honest with you, Jatia.
So Cass is like, I'm thinking about voting for you. And I'm like, super calm, because I'm like, you don't know, but I'm trying to decide whether it's you or David. So,
awesome.
Hey, so speaking of which, when you left, what was that, like was it 9 or 10 or
11?
Day 11. When you left, did you expect to see Cass, Spencer, and Tasha soon, given how Luzon was performing, or did you think they had a chance to do well?
I hoped to see them soon. Let me be honest. I hoped to see them very
That's
soon.
Honest. Thank you. That's honest.
Because was upset with them. I was upset. So I hope to see them soon. I'm being very honest here, but I knew that anybody who made it out of our tribe was going to kick butt, because what we didn't have is muscles and brains. I mean, muscles to basically be at our beck and call. And they found that. Right. So I think really in our tribe, it was so many people who had so many schemes and so many plans. And it was, in my opinion, I feel like it was a dogfight from the minute we stepped on the island.
Right. Did you hear? Right. Did you hear Spencer's post interview where he said that if he hadn't been on the tribe he was on, he would have been a lot more like the character that we all thought he was going to be?
Yes.
Did you hear that? Did you get any sense of that from him, or was he pretty much the different Spencer from day one? Or did he ever butt heads with anybody?
No, Spencer did not butt heads at all, because it's very funny, but as, I guess, as strong a personality as he was not the strongest personality in our tribe. You don't get it. We all had, like, it was 6 type A's, and Spencer was the least type A. So just imagine that.
Yeah.
Spencer was the least type A. Everybody on our beach had a scheme. Garrett was trying to get David out. David was trying to get Garrett out. Kat was trying to get me out. And Spencer and Tasha were just like sitting back, swinging. Tasha is trying to figure out how, I feel like she was trying to figure out who to go with and trying to keep everybody up. Everybody had a scheme.
Right.
That's why I don't understand why David or Garrett ever thought they were safe. Like, nobody in our tribe should have ever thought they were safe going to tribal council.
Right.
And that's how I played every tribal council. I went in. They didn't show a lot of things, but I talked my behind off at every tribal council. Yeah. Maybe I can't swim or do a puzzle or build a shelter, but one thing I can do is make you look bad and make a logical argument.
Awesome. That. Yeah. That's great. So you're so you were a troublemaker whenever you went to tribal council. Or you?
Yeah, like the whole Garrett. I got Garrett talking at tribal council, and he started talking about his alliances and that sort of thing. And he thought he was good. He didn't even bring his idol, and I made sure to mention that, that he didn't bring his idol. He left his jeans. I know his pockets are empty. Like stuff that I was just observing. This would be a perfect time to get him out. Kind of building argument, and they didn't show that because, of course, my character was, the pawn and that sort of thing. But I always made those arguments. Yeah. And I argued to the death.
Do you think it's part of Garrett and Rocker maybe not having the watching experience of watching Survivor to walk into a tribal council and think they could possibly be safe at any tribal council? Like you said, you don't know who. Everybody should be nervous at tribal council. So do you think it hurt them that they didn't have the experience of watching as much as some fans do, that they would go to tribal council, Garrett without his idol, and Rocker never thinking about playing it?
I'm very honest with you, and I think it comes from a position of where they are at in their lives. Because I feel like both of them have this, I guess, base layer of comfortability in their lives, and I feel that kind of hurt them on the show. Like, this is logical. This is what usually happens. Usually stuff turns out all right for me.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like a cat in a cage at every opportunity. I'm like, oh, it's going down. We're going to fight to the death. There might be teeth and hair on the floor. So I feel like that's exactly how I made it as far as I made it. Because honestly, let's be honest, there were good cases for me to be out at the first 2 tribal councils. But, I fought tooth and nail. I talked to everybody. I've messed up a lot too. But, there was always somebody there to mess up a little bit worse than me. So that's all you need.
That's a good point, that somebody would bring their personal lifestyle comfort level into Survivor and think that would carry over for them. And to me, that's just a lack of experience of knowing what the game can do to you or what it would do to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because, especially being in a tribe like ours with all these thinkers. Like, they were always trying to flip something and do something else. You saw in the beauty tribe and everything else, they stayed the course. We were not people who stayed the course at all.
Right. Now, did you enjoy watching the season? And did you watch the entire season?
I did watch the entire season. and I enjoyed it. I had heard the stories, like what happened, and I was like, that couldn't have possibly happened. And then seeing it was just, to me, it was the best season ever because, of course, I get like everything that happened and what was going on. And man, there is so much that you don't see. And, to me, watching it, you're like, oh, that's so bonehead. Why would they do that? And just knowing this stuff, you're like, no, it was like things going down that you don't even know or appreciate. And it can only show so much. So honestly, I commiserate with every move. Like, I'm like, I could see how she would do that, Val and her big move. I'm like, okay, I see it. Go big or go home. It's like I'm on the chopping block. Why not pull a big, huge move? It might just work. This is Survivor. Anything can happen. So I do understand. I mean, I get it. And if it would have worked, we'd have been calling her genius.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, so
yeah. It's always like that.
So what was the reaction when you got back, like from your colleagues or from people that know you very well? What was their reaction when you got back from playing? Or after they saw the episodes that you were in?
Oh, okay. So very interesting. So the first episode, I had like a party, and that was the rice dumping episode. And when I found out that was going to be the first episode, I was not happy about that. But honestly, anybody who knows me is not surprised, to be quite honest. I'm just, nobody was surprised.
Like they all laughed.
I'll take my... They laughed, and some people were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did this." And I was like, "Do you know me?" So anybody really knows me knows that I can go from 0 to 10 very quickly. I am very animated. I've made more faces on that show than I've ever made in my life. So nobody was surprised who knew me. I mean, I am very animated. I am very passionate. I am a bit crazy, and they got every second of that and showed it. I do use hand gestures. It's just who I am. I mean, it's not all of who I am, but I mean, it was a fabulous character, right? I was fucking.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh hey, you will be remembered forever.
Sorry.
Yeah, you've already been referenced in this season. You've already been referenced in this season.
Wow.
I know.
Wow, that was
crazy,
right?
You should get like $1,000 for that reference, don't you think? You should call CBS and go, hey. You know what I thought was really funny was so you dump all the rice, right? Thinking I'm going home anyway, so heck with them. And then like 2 episodes later, you're like, okay, can we divide the rice up so I can have some? I thought that was great.
So I just want to say about that. This is what happened.
All right, go for it.
So what happened was, and this will show you our personalities. Tasha, who I was supposed to be closest to, was saying, no, we need to be very strict about our rice and make sure we have a lot left and that sort of thing. And I was like, everybody was coming to me. Well, everybody was just Spencer and Cass at this time and saying, we need to eat rice. You should tell her, blah, blah, blah. So before we read the clue, we were talking about that. And then we got the clue. We read it. And then I basically wanted to go back to we were going to have rice. So basically I was telling Tasha, stop being a rice Nazi, And I was like, I ain't got nothing to lose. I'll tell her. So basically that's why I was like, yeah, we're going to have some rice because, she wanted us to go practice. So everybody had their things. But, I mean, I'm not going to die out. And it's very funny. I always have to make this point. But the first 3 days we were on the island, we had no rice. We had nothing to eat. We had no rice. We had no water. So me dumping out the rice, it was like, okay, we ain't had no rice before. So, it wasn't, I don't know, I'm not going to say a big deal because it certainly was a big deal. I'm not going to, make that into a issue. But we ate better after I dumped out the rice than before because we caught crabs. We started finding melons and this sort of thing as cooking and using our heads. Exactly. And we weren't doing that before.
It was all part of the plan.
No, it wasn't part of the plan. I'm not gonna co-sign on that one. I just was trying to.
Obviously, it's not part of the plan, but you could have went. Look, y'all, you thought I was losing my temper, but really, I was just trying to help us to use our brains better. Yeah, it was all part of the plan. A producer told me to do it.
Yeah, so these are the things they don't show. Yeah, I dumped out the rice, but then I just went and caught crabs and fed everybody.
Right. All right, man. David, you got anything else about Cagayan?
Let me take my mic off mute. Then maybe I'll join the conversation. Because I've been talking away and y'all been ignoring me, so I've been trying to figure out why. Just a comparison. We've heard speculation that what we heard from Rocker this season wasn't obviously all, especially in the trash talking department of challenges. Did you guys have many? Do you remember much trash talking or anything like that from your challenges on Cagayan?
Let me see. Mostly we all just wanted to faint, at least on the brain side, when we were doing challenges.
You just wanted it to be over. So.
We just wanted to faint. I mean, like, we were really exhausted. Trash talking? No, there was no trash talking when I was there from us. Why? Because usually we were losing, and so we were either trying to win or crying. And then the one time that we did win, we were so freaking excited that why would we talk trash? Oh, no, that's not true. We talked trash, me and Tasha, when we first hit the mat. When we found out we were the Reigns, we were like, yeah, what, y'all losing? Which is funny.
I wish they said
and then, yeah, we were like, we got this on lock. And then I think I talked trash after we won our soul challenge that I was on Luzon. I just said something to the fact of, I'll miss you at Tribal Council. And I said, I won't miss you. You know, thinking I'm sassy and all excited. But it came off really, really, like, you know, not nice. But, I mean, I was just happy we finally won. Hello.
Right.
But, you know, they put the music to make me seem really bitchy. So.
Yeah.
No, I can't imagine.
Well, hey,
I know, right?
You know, CBS decides how they're going to portray you, and that's the edit that they do for everybody.
You know what? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I was a great character.
You know what's going to happen.
I gave him every single thing. I do that. That is exactly how I am with music.
Yeah. Now, did Garrett like lay around camp trying to find the perfect pose?
That was really okay. So, oh man, when I saw his confessional where he was like, you know, like Reynolds and Girl kind of thing, it was very funny. He did lay around. I mean, he's tired and he's the big guy, and so I'm not gonna be like, oh, he was so lazy and totally lazy. We had some work Nazis at our camp. I don't know if anybody knows that, but Cass is a rancher, right? So she's like all outdoors, you know, not super outdoorsy, but she's used to like working a lot.
Right.
And if you don't know, like it's 90 degrees in the middle of the day. So the best strategy is to work in the morning and in the afternoon and lay down in the middle of the day.
Right.
So I'm sure they caught him a couple of times. You know, some people were like, would never sit down because in our camp we had work Nazis, and if you sat down, you were lazy. Now, just imagine it's 90 degrees. You've had no water, no food. You know, would you lay down? I mean, especially if you're a big guy. So it's not like I thought he was super lazy, but we had, and this is how our tribe basically singled people out, because of course this is surviving. You're trying to single people out, so it's the lazy.
Yep. All right, David, do you want to get to Will's feedback since it has questions?
We've covered most of it. I've been reading through it. It talks about the real you and the survivor you. And she kind of talked about that. Do you think Survivor brings out the worst in people? You talked about it when you talked about people being starving and people being hungry all the time. Do you felt like, I mean, how does that you recall that for you? Do you really feel like you're at your worst at times, or do you feel like you're able to overcome it to a point?
I would say worst. I don't think it was my worst. I think it was just how I dealt with the situation. I think people deal with things differently. I think it definitely makes you really, really paranoid. I mean, because you really can't trust anybody, and you know you're in situations like I said, going back to the starving. You're really starving, and you're dealing with a lot of stress. I wouldn't say worst, but you know you're not. I don't know. It brought out who I am under stress. Sometimes it was good. I mean, like I feel like I made friends and I did have fun, you know, at different times. But I mean, it really sucks sometimes. It sucks not to eat, and it sucks to, you know, be paranoid, and it sucks that you're trying to make friends and also trying to vote people off. And it sucks that you have to alienate somebody. and you have to go to tribal council and make somebody look really, really bad. And that's the name of the game. Because honestly, everybody who plays Survivor is pretty freaking awesome. I mean, the point is anybody could win. So everybody is super, super awesome, and that, afterwards. So, I mean, I just want people to think about that. They make characters and that sort of thing, but everybody who plays Survivor is pretty rock star.
All right, I'm going to ask one of his questions. Why? This is from Will the Giant Ninja in Wonder Lake. Why did David and Garrett have such an immediate him or me rivalry? Was it all David's fault when he labeled Garrett the weakest player? Was there mutual hatred, at least in terms of the game, the source of the demise of the Brains tribe?
Garrett, I think, did not like being called the weakest player. To be quite honest, I think that hit him at his core, just from my opinion. David targeted him, which was, let's be honest. And he wanted. I don't understand. Yeah, I'm not complaining because I got to say. But there was an immediate. They wanted each other off. They didn't even really talk to each other. But I felt like they felt it was them, or I think they were kind of jockeying for the lead of the tribe, and neither of them had it.
Right. Dave, you want to ask number 2? Ask that one.
This one, depending on how far you want to go into it, can you speculate on how the season would have been different if the Brains tribe had voted out Spencer instead of you? So that would have kept you, Cass, and Tasha. Going from there, that definitely would have given some females the numbers. Will said, as much as he liked Tony, I'm not sure he wins without the specter of Spencer to divert attention, because Spencer did draw a lot of attention with his individual challenges in the latter part of the season. Will said, I kind of think Sarah may have found a way to win a very boring season if Cass and Tasha had kept you. How do you think that would have rolled out for you?
Honestly, I think the 3 Brains would have stayed together if I'd have stayed. I think we'd have had a more us against the world kind of situation. I think that I would have been able to talk to Cass honestly. I mean, she's always been honest with me. And I think that Cass felt like enough attention wasn't being paid to her, and that basically they were breaking up, so she might as well go her own way. I definitely would have fought for a girls' alliance. I'm not going to lie. I love girls' alliances. Girls rule, boys drool. Always believe in that. Also, I would have been looking out for myself, so of course I'd have wanted the boys to go. I'd have kept 1 or 2 token boys to do the work. But I'm sure, maybe Lindsay could have done that.
There you go.
But I think it would have been very different, and I definitely would have tried to keep the people together and to get them to see that we're stronger together, So
it's interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic because you weren't exactly, I guess, high up on people's list as a challenge threat, not like Spencer turned out to be. So you might have had less of a target had you been able to blend in, like you said, with the Women's Alliance, or especially sticking with the Brains. So that definitely could have gotten you further, whereas Spencer basically stayed as long as he did because he was winning challenges. He kept finding himself on the right side of that count.
Hey, I want to read you something else that Will said, Jatia. All right? This is not a question. This is just Will. He says, I'm on the record as not being the biggest fan of the Rice Burner, Jatia's character on Survivor. But I don't know Jatia in real life, and I won't assume that Jatia in real life is Rice Burner Jatia. In fact, I will give her the benefit of the doubt and assume they're not the same. After all, Jatia gets the Cass McQuillan seal of approval. And I love me some Cass, he says. So as much as I loved seeing Rice Burner get voted out, I cheered out loud. I love that we have a chance to meet the real Jatia tonight. You really did get the Cass McQuillan vote of approval. She was like, y'all need to talk to Jatia. So you and Cass must have really hit it off for y'all to keep that. I mean, do y'all still have a relationship now? You still talk?
Oh, yeah, she's texting me. She's texting me right now.
Oh, is she?
Which is funny.
All right,
Yeah,
Cass.
she's texting me. So
Yeah.
she told me to talk all the stuff I want. I deserve some of it, is what she said. So it's very funny. It's her little girl's birthday, so she's having a birthday party. So
Oh yeah.
but I talked to everybody on Luzon pretty much. I saw Spencer yesterday. I'm trying to think. I just texted with David. We went to a baseball game. I'm from Miami, so I see him when I go home.
That's awesome.
I talked to Tasha. Tasha and my brother have become friends, which is funny. So I talked to pretty much everybody. I'm cool. This is the thing. I go on how people treat me personally. And Survivor game, I understand. I get it. I'm trying to vote you out. You're trying to vote me out. But if you respect me as a person, I know I did things that were not nice. I get it. I'll take it. That was not nice.
Right.
Not at all. It was rude. It was childish, and that's exactly what I meant it to be at the time. I was being mean.
Right.
So I'll take that.
All right. So
did I hurt them as people? No, but I didn't care right then.
So from your season, Cagayan, pick one person from the Brawn tribe and one person from the Beauty tribe that you would want to align with. Now that you know them, if you went back and played again with all these people, pick one person from each of those tribes that you would align with.
Jeremiah from the Beauty. Because I think he's really nice, but that's neither here nor there. But I think that Jeremiah keeps his word for the most part, and I feel like he's open to manipulation. I know that's bad.
You could probably read his lies better too. If he tried to lie, you could probably read it.
Yeah, he's
That's
not a
not
good
bad.
liar. He's super sweet. He's actually pretty good in challenges, pretty good around camp. And I feel like this is gonna sound bad, but he wouldn't be a complicated player.
Right. That's not bad at all. I mean, that's how you play Survivor. You try to align yourself with people like that.
What about from the Brawn
and
tribe?
Then from the Brawn tribe, it'd probably either be Wu or Lindsay. Again, for the same reason. I feel like I like crazy people, and Lindsay, I feel like I could get down with her type of crazy. Like, it's not crazy; it's just kind of misunderstood. You got to understand where people are coming from.
Right.
And I think she would talk to me, and I think she would tell me how she's feeling, and I could assuage her fears. And I think that's what did not happen with Cass. And I think that's where somebody went wrong. And Wu, same thing, pretty straightforward, athletic. He's not going to make any, I feel like, really big moves. I feel like he's not a good liar. He's not a schemer. So those sort of people.
All right. David, you want to get to some feedback? Jati, are you ready to get to feedback? Listener feedback?
Sure.
About
Let's
episode
feedback.
3?
Yeah.
What? Oh, did you say let's get to feedback? Is that what you said?
Yes, I did. I'm thumbing up.
Okay.
She gave you a sound bite and you missed it. Oh, well. Okay.
Gave me a sound. Well, I'm sorry, David. By the way, the SCA 9000 is it's too complicated to explain. But we have this device that has developed its own personality. He is a computer. Actually, he's a bucket, but he's a computer, and he has disdain for me and David, even though we created him.
Okay.
She's like, what the heck did I get on this show? But he had something that he wanted to say to you or to us, whatever. But anyway, so SCA 9000, go ahead and say what you wanted to say.
It is about time you have Katie on the show. She is amazing. I love how she speaks her mind.
There you go. The SCA 9000 likes you.
He loves how I do what?
He loves how you speak your mind.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
Always.
We haven't had the money to upgrade his vocal.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's all right. I appreciate his honesty.
Yeah.
I'm all about honesty, unless you're gonna tell somebody they're getting voted out, which is dumb. So whatever.
Yeah. What? Oh wait, he wants to say something else. Just a second.
I wish I had arms, so I could dump David and Dwaine's rice, like the amazing Katie.
Nice. Yeah. He's not a big fan of us. We don't know why.
Okay.
I
All
see
right.
Your rice. So.
Yeah, he wants to dump our rice. All right, so let's get to our feedback for tonight, y'all. And Jatia has graciously agreed to hang around. And if at any time, Jatia, you need to head out and walk your dog, unless you got your fiance to do that for you tonight.
He did. He's so super sweet.
Isn't that awesome? Then, you just let us know. Nobody will be offended. But if you want to hang around, we'd love to have you hang around. What?
I have a funny story to tell. I just had to tell this because it's super random. It
Awesome.
has
Let's
nothing to
go.
do with what you guys want to hear about. But so my fiance, my then boyfriend, we met maybe 6 weeks before I went on Survivor, and I almost didn't even tell him I was going on Survivor, which I just think is hilarious. I told him I was going to the Congo. I told him I was going to the Congo for work, and I usually travel for work, usually not for 2 months, but I told him it was an extended assignment. So I almost didn't tell him, and then I broke down and told him 2 weeks before we left. And it's funny because he's like, if you wouldn't have told me that you went on Survivor before we left, I don't even think we would be together. So it was a big deal.
I was going to say, that would have been quite a separation. He might not have been waiting for you when you got back.
Well,
Yeah.
he'd be like, I know you went to the Congo, but you could have answered your phone for 2 months.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
They got computers over there.
Way out the bush. I'm going to be way out. So it was a horrible life.
I'm going to be out in the bush building shelters for people, so I'll be busy and cooking rice and taking care of people,
Oh, that would have been horrible. You had to tell him. Oh,
Yeah,
funny.
that's why I broke down. I was like, I can't do that. That'd be horrible.
Yeah.
We would definitely not be together if that happened.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
anyway.
just the other night whenever I called you to get all your overlays set up and everything like that, your fiance was in the background. And I just want to say he's a very nice guy. I liked how he handled that you were supposed to walk the dog but didn't walk the dog. And he's like, you didn't walk the dog. And you go, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll do it. And he goes, no, that's okay, I don't mind doing it. Great guy right there, great guy.
He is super sweet. He is totally love my life. He loves my crazy. That's our line. He just loves my crazy. I'm going crazy and he's just laughing. It's funny to him. So I'm glad he's entertained by it.
Is he a nerd? Because you said you love nerds. Is he a nerd?
Oh my God, he used to be a nerd, but now he's super sporty. So he was a derivatives broker, and he gave that all up to coach soccer because he used to be semi-pro. And so he's from England, so he moved over here, and now he's a soccer coach, and it's super sporty and just super awesome. So
yeah, David's a soccer coach. I know it doesn't look like it, but he is.
Awesome.
Well, if I aim my camera higher, it shows the trophies. But Terry, my wife, said, "Don't show those. Just don't."
Aww. So yeah, he loves soccer. So I'm totally into soccer now. Liverpool is our team. That's the area.
I'm the classic American soccer coach, where I never played soccer growing up because that wasn't a sport that we played back then. And once my daughter realized it was a lot more fun than standing in the outfield waiting for a ball or doing something else, she said, I just want to play soccer. And then I was one of those idiot parents that didn't know anything, got a yellow card, all this, that, and the other. I said, I should go find out what this sport's all about. So now I'm a referee, a licensed coach, and I love it. And unfortunately, though, I'm a Man U fan, so I'm gonna, yeah.
I like that Manchester United commercial they've got on ESPN now, where they're all singing that song.
Yeah, it goes through the ages, the different generations.
Yeah. Yeah. Does your team have a song, Jatia?
Yes.
Do they really?
They just don't have a commercial.
Yeah.
Well,
we don't have a commercial. We almost won the league, but yes, we have a song. I will not even try to sing it because I suck at singing. That is one thing. But You'll Never Walk Alone, and they sing it before games and at the end of games. So.
You'll never walk alone. There you go, David.
Not
Is that not it?
It's like a ballad. Susan Boyle sings it, so you should listen to the Susan Boyle version.
All right.
I don't want to get too far away from
Boyle.
I don't want to get too far away from soccer, but was your fiance upset that Suarez left, or was he happy?
No, he wasn't happy, but he's happy about Balotelli and some other people
Mario,
that they have.
yeah.
I know they're off this week because England is playing, but
the European ties are going on.
Right. So
Yes, we're serious.
The FCA 9000 is boring is bored of
we're
the
talking
soccer
about the biter.
conferences.
Remember the biter? Because we did World Cup.
Yeah.
We had Coach on and did World Cup podcast. We talked about the biter. He might be a biter and a jerk and a sore loser, but he is an awesome soccer player. He just finds a way to put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what his job is, and he's really good.
I get the sore loser part. Sometimes you just tips over and you can't.
Hey, you burn stuff, you bite stuff. There you go. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. All
have
right.
you seen Balotelli's girlfriend? I'm sorry, one last. Have you seen Balotelli's girlfriend?
I have.
You should Google that.
Boy, David's smiling big time.
Well, I mean, I get on my Facebook page. I like a lot of soccer pages, so I get a lot of the random pictures that come up, girlfriends, cars, all the kind of stuff like that.
All right, Cass has sent a question.
Oh.
To get back to when are you getting back to Survivor? Is her question?
Yeah, Cass has. You're not the only one that talks to Cass. All right. Cass sent me a question. What Leprechaun's footprint is on your I Love Nerds shirt, and what is the backstory?
Very funny. Okay, so everybody thinks that, I just threw the rice in the fire and that was it, and, we moved on. But no, there was some backlash, and basically I tried to pour the water on the fire and put it out and huffed off, and then, so that's why they were guarding me or supposedly guarding me, because I tried to put the fire out and they were like, watch her, and they put, what's his name on me? I can't think of his name. That guy, muscle guy. Garrett. They put Garrett on me. But while I was off, so then I dumped the rice, and Cass basically had a fit, like she should have. She should have been mad, and basically like trampled all on my shirt. Every other stain I had in my clothes came out, except there's this big footprint right in the middle of my I Heart Nerd, from where Cass basically did like a Mexican tango or Argentine tango on my shirt that has never come out. And it was like, literally, that shirt was my favorite shirt in life. Like, it was my most favorite shirt. Like, you think they made me buy a shirt that says I Heart Nerds, but no, I wore that shirt. I have like an album of places that I've worn that shirt because it's my favorite shirt, and it's ruined. But that's okay. It was worth it.
So you don't wear it anymore?
I wore it on St. Patrick's Day,
right.
Funny enough, last year, and now, I don't know, it's like, it's not magical anymore. Like, it's magical for a different reason.
It's been cast.
So, yes.
It's got Cass's footprint on it. Been ruined.
So, no, it's not ruined. It's just different. It's just different. And plus, when I wear that shirt, I get recognized a lot. So.
Right.
That was a great scene I remember from last year. If you're here, who's watching Shatia?
Yeah, I remember that.
I think Garrett came down to the water, and Spencer or somebody's like, who's watching the camp?
So
I left Shatia in charge. She's watching it.
Oh my God! You don't understand. It all came together magically and perfectly because I was like, I am so pissed. I'm still pissed. What can I do? I was just trying to think, how can I mess stuff up? But Garrett was the only person by me, and I was sitting in the shelter, and he said, I'm so hungry. When are we gonna eat? And then they all started migrating down towards the beach. And so he basically gave me the idea to throw the rice in the fire because I wasn't like, but he was just talking about how hungry he was. And I was like, oh, if you're staying, I'm going to make you real hungry. So.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, and so now your fiance knows, okay, be very careful what you say before you make her mad.
Is there a lock on his clothes closet?
Yeah.
And his shoes are stuff?
He's a very nice guy, very, very patient, which is why we work well together. But everybody knows, like, I don't get mad a lot, which is, I don't get mad a lot. I don't. I'm very, like, it takes a lot to make me mad, which they did. They did. And I think it was the point that, I guess what pushed me over is that they made me feel like I was insignificant. And I felt like, I had taken all this time off work, and I'm trying to play this game, and I'm, fighting tooth and nail, and I'm hungry, and I'm this. And I was like, and for you just to blow me off, that just kind of pissed me off. That was the thing that kind of pushed me over more than anything.
Right. All right. Well, let's get to some feedback. It's been an hour. We've been having a good time.
Hey, it happened.
I told you it was going to be a good show.
That was me. I'm a good time.
That's right. Right. All right. So let's. We're gonna get to our first one. It's. I don't know how to. He pronounces his name. He's from South Africa, so it's spelled Werner, but it ain't Werner.
I bet it sounds like a V, like Werner.
I don't know.
Werner. Werner.
Werner. Mom is Werner. All right. Here we go. From South Africa.
How's it, guys? This is Werner from South Africa. You guys.
Werner.
Werner. There was there was 2 syllables in that.
All right. Werner. All right. Here we go.
You guys may call me Werner if you want to. It's a privilege to send some feedback in. Thanks, Dwaine and Dave, for keeping this up. This is a great show. Guys, I've got one main thought that I really want to share on this feedback, but I'll just share 1 or 2 others first. Firstly, I want to say that in this episode, I'm really convinced that Josh, he's a good player. He's got strategic know-how. I think he's developing, and he will get better as the season goes on. He kept Baylor in the game, and Baylor was his alliance. And in the previous vote, when it was Baylor and Val, Josh, he got it so that things worked out in his favor. And that's what this game is about. All these little things that you do along the way that just keeps this game moving in a direction that benefits you. So well done to Josh. I think he will do well unless they expose him and kick him off, because they see that he's really working in a very proficient way. I want to say I was also sad to see Rocker go. I wanted to see more of him. I enjoyed looking at him and seeing him trying to connect, trying to make a bond with people. That's different than him, and I would have loved to have him up there past the merch, just to see him soften and to show himself to the audience more, but also to develop himself, to realize that he can actually work with people that's different than him, and so I was sad to see him go. The main thing I want to say today, and I think this was my main revelation of this episode, is this. I don't think Jeremy can win this game. I know some people have been putting Jeremy on the one side and Josh on the other side, and they kind of speak of the 2 leaders and their strong and weak points. I don't think Jeremy's got the goods to go all the way. With the whole thing with Rocker, how it was handled, how that just emotional letdown almost ruined Jeremy's thoughts, his way of thinking, his composure went out the back door. You need composure. I know you guys always also state you must be able to sit around a fire with someone you don't like and still have them vote with you. Jeremy, he doesn't have that skill, so I'm concerned for him. I don't think he's got the emotional stability. I thought even when he shouted at Rocker, hey, he just smashed your goal, I thought he's not mature enough to take this game all the way. He's not a champion over his emotions, but he's being ruled by his emotions, and I don't think he will make it. Thanks, guys, for the great show, and I hope that we'll have some awesome chats in the future. Cheers.
You know, I got to say, that last part of his feedback, talking about Jeremy and his emotions, I tend to agree that Jeremy's emotions are going to get the better of him, and I don't think he's going to win because of that.
This is what I was talking about earlier when we were talking about I'd like to see him play not on Blood versus Water, because I think what we saw in the last episode is what I'm agreeing with Werner, that's going to hurt him. That's going to it gives others ammo as to how to get under his skin, but it also shows him in a way that he's not composed. He let Val's departure get to him, and he rode on that for a while. And to me, it just didn't show him in a good light. Not compared to the first 2 episodes where I was really high on him. I thought he was going to do well and carry on, and he still could, but for some reason, it just showed him in a different light this episode, and it just wasn't the type of light I thought was going to carry him to the end. What do you think, Shatia?
First of all, that was the longest feedback. Oh my God, that was. I don't know if all of them were that long, but I thought it was the Werner show. So thank you.
Well, there are a couple longer ones, so.
We got to take notes. I took notes, so.
Yeah.
I took a little micro nap. I don't know where to start. So I think it depends whether Jeremy. I mean, he talked about it in Confessions, but it depends on whether he talked about it to other people. He could just, he didn't go in there and say to the tribe, I want him voted off because he voted my wife off. That's his personal aggression. So it depends on what you see in confessionals and what he's actually saying to his tribe. And as you can see, he whipped it up pretty good. I mean, he didn't give away his personal motivation. He just put, a little salt, put it out there, started a fire, and it wasn't actually him that even did the dirty work. And I thought it was a really good strategy if you want to get somebody out. Whip it up, make somebody else, kind of do your dirty work. And that's exactly what he got out of the 20. She did all the dirty work, all the yelling. So I thought it was great. I mean, I thought he controlled his emotions well. I mean, first of all, you look like a robot if your wife gets voted off and you don't, emote somehow. You want people to relate to you. And I thought it was fine, but we'll see. I think he's definitely, a go-to person, a likable person, a person that people want to speak to and be with. So I don't know. I think he could take it all the way, but who knows what happens? It might be, a monkey infestation and he gets bit and then get rabies. Who the hell knows? It's Survivor.
That is very true. Very true.
Yep.
All right. I also was interested in what he had to say about Josh, but I'm sure other people mentioned Josh too, so we can talk about him when they do. All right, David, you want to read the rest of Will the Giant Ninja's feedback?
I'll try to make it shorter.
Yeah. Prepare yourself, Jatia. These are not short.
No problem.
I even reduced the font to make it look shorter.
Hey,
I might walk my dog during the next one and then come back and reply. So no, I'm kidding.
we have a 5-minute one coming up, so audio. But feel free to go get a drink of water or something while we're doing that, or go to the bathroom, whatever you want to do.
But Will's is in two. Yeah, Will's is in two parts. Part 1 is Jatia. Part 2 is
yeah. And we've already done all the Jatia stuff, so
yeah.
we'll just.
I love the part 1.
Because it's all about her. That's right.
It's like, hey, why are all these feedback not about me? What's up?
Exactly. Me.
All right, here we go.
He continues,
Will
and
the
now, and now for some thoughts on the current episode. Feel free to interrupt with your own commentary, Jatia, because Dwaine certainly will.
No, David. I don't care if Will writes it on the page. We never say that word.
Okay.
David and Dwaine, we are not what he just said ever again.
Okay. All right. He's
got.
Yes.
No, Jatia.
All right. He's got 5 points. Let's get to it without messing me up anymore. Dear John Rocker, if you are secretly working with the person your alliance just voted out, trying to keep her, don't announce that fact to everyone. My gosh, what possible good could come from telling everyone that you're untrustworthy? That was the worst move of the game. And remember, you're the guy who believed that Val had 2 idols, even though he already had 1.
That is true. I mean, come on.
That's very true, but it's also somebody that doesn't follow the game very tightly to think there could be 3 idols in the first 5 minutes of the game.
I know.
I mean.
All right.
Number 2, dear Jeremy and Natalie, congratulations, it worked. You targeted John Rocker and you got his tribe to vote him out.
Yep.
You poked the bear, got him to growl, and weakened the other tribe in the process. That said, your vitriol was telling. You both seemed to focus on the fact that Rocker was / is a racist and said some homosexual things, whatever that means. But I find it more than a little interesting that your voices were the loudest. Were you really mad about stuff from an interview 2 decades ago, or just that your loved ones were voted out? Me thinks it's the latter. Well, yeah, it was kind of obvious that the 2 that lost people were the ones making the biggest noise.
Well, yeah. Plus, they were targeting him.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 3, Alec and Wes need a celebrity couple name. This I agree. These 2 guys need a name.
Walick?
Yeah. At this point, yeah.
Do what, Jatia?
I don't like Walick. I don't know. It should be something like, what was the name of the shampoo from the 70s? Breck? The Breck twins. Like their hair and their shampoo.
Oh, there you go. Or they're buff. The bad buff twins or something. They should, because they don't wear their buffs very well.
Old Spice guys.
Okay. At this point, they're 2 guys who share 1/2 of a brain, if that. This is Will, Wes, and Alec, not David and Dwaine.
Oh, yeah.
This is Will.
Yes.
I'm suggesting Alice, A-L-E-S. So, dear Alice, why are you letting Josh make your decisions for you? Obviously, he and Baylor are the only ones who gained from John Rocker being voted out. When Baylor suggested ousting Rocker, you thought, and I use that word lightly, that it was a bad idea. But then Josh suggested it, and you don't even question it. Wow. Baylor sometimes thinks your head's not in the game. I wonder why.
By the way, David, it would be Aless. Alec and Wes would be Aless, not Alice.
I like Alice better. It stands out more.
Go ahead, David. Stand up for yourself.
That's right. I am thinking. Don't say that I'm not.
Jatia, I heard you. What did you say, though?
Oh, I like both of them, Alice and LS.
Aless. Alessia. All right.
LS sounds more sensual, though, so
Yes.
maybe LS.
Aless. Baylor goes, hey, Aless. All right, go ahead. Number 4.
And they both look up and say, yes, this is a less. Dear Baylor, I love that you're seeing through Josh. Even better, he doesn't realize that you're seeing through him. Josh just chose to keep you over Rocker because he trusts you, and Rocker was sketchy. You know, because Rocker had voted in an unexpected fashion and worked with the person the alliance was targeting. Exactly the same things Josh himself was doing. Right? But that's the point that Werner was making very well, that Josh sees this and Rocker isn't. Ironically, Rocker never would have voted against Josh, and I have a feeling that you'll be Josh's demise. I love it. Take him out.
Yes. I think Baylor will be several people's demise.
Yeah, I agree. Number 5, Dear Survivor Casting, you've now lost 2 of your 3 lightning rods. Stunt casting is great, but when it's based on a very public past that everyone knows about, you run the risk of your villains getting booted before villains.
No, before being villains.
Oh, sorry, before being villains. See Russell in Redemption Island. That was what was so great about Team TV last year. Nobody saw him coming. This cast seems very vanilla, save for the 20s and Rocker, and we've lost 2 of those 3 already. Just something to think about. More Tonys, more Russells, not more people who are already famous. The premise of Survivor depends on 16 strangers. When one of them is already infamous for outside the game activity, it changes the dynamic of the game, and in my opinion, ruins it. Well, that's all from me. Thanks for the insight, Jatia. Can't wait to get my shirt next week. Later, peeps.
That was Will the Giant Ninja. I tell you what we'll do is whenever we have another audio feedback, I'll just kind of stop it in the middle and we'll talk about it and then we'll continue it.
That would
He
be
brings,
great idea, Dwaine.
yeah, take a drink break or something right in the middle. He brings up a good point though about casting, because I don't know if you saw that article, GT. It's on our Facebook page where Probst and Phil from Amazing Race talk about why their shows do so well, and why they're still on the air. And Probst flat out says, we want people who are uncomfortable outside. We want people who are going to react like they've never seen this before, and that's what makes the show great, which tells me they're not looking for super fans that are training themselves to adapt to the atmosphere or to the surroundings. They want people that are going to go out there and just freak out and not know what's going on and just suffer from it. And that's where I guess they'll think they'll get the best ratings. That's what I think.
That's what you think.
That's why
All
I'm
right.
going to get on the show.
Zatia, are you
think
ready
it's
for...
interesting and entertaining? Oh, okay. So I wanted to jump in here. Do you think
Yeah.
it's interesting and entertaining to see people freak out?
I wasn't too thrilled watching Brandon Hance freak out. I didn't really find that interesting a part of the game. I thought your rice burning was, that was entertaining, but I also thought you did it with a level head that you knew what you were doing. You weren't hurting anybody. You weren't physically going after anybody. You were actually going to hurt the people that were going to be voting you out. And that was, in the sense, that was a game move. It wasn't a personal attack. But when people freak out and start throwing chairs at each other or start threatening people with bodily harm, that I don't really get into, and I think they're going to egg everything out of that they can. Now, I do like seeing Cochran come out with swollen feet because he didn't put any suntan lotion on or things like that. You kind of got to figure out where you're going. But I understand people like Cass, too. Cass went out there with a little edge that she's used to the outdoors. She's going to adapt quicker because she works outside a lot. Like I said, she's a rancher. So, I mean, then you get people who come from the city and don't know anything about it. So that's how you got to find people like Cass and say, you know what, I need to stick with her as long as I can because she's going to help me get along in this situation. I don't mind I don't want to see people freak out because they're not eating or drinking, But I like to see people suffer a little because they're suddenly put in the outdoors. But at the same time, I want to see people that got a clue. I want to see more people with a clue than people without. And I don't mean the clues that you get at Exile Island. I mean a clue about how the game works.
Did you get an answer on all that, Jatia?
Yeah, no, I did. I don't think seeing people really freak out is not cool because, I mean, when you're out there, like people don't understand that it's a whole different world. Even if you are outdoorsy, it's different. So, yeah, I don't think they cast people to freak out because that's not good for them. I don't think it was cool when people freak out. I don't think I freaked out. I think I just got upset. It wasn't like I was going to hurt anybody or myself or anything. I think Lindsay would have hurt somebody. If you want to talk about it, I think she was about to. So that's never fun, and it's not entertaining. And seeing people, it's part of the game to suffer and to have to adapt. So I think they still will do stunt casting. And it's interesting. It draws people in. You want people. It's a TV show. You want people to watch Survivor, and these people come with their own built-in fan base. Love them or hate them, they come in with their built-in fan base. So.
Yeah, we're going to have that because a season full of Spencers will probably be boring. I mean, he is more athletic than we gave him credit for. He knows the game very well, so he's probably going to sit back and play more sly instead of being out there and seeing people suffer for the weather and the conditions and stuff. So I understand. I agree there will be casting of people that just don't belong outdoors. And I don't mind the shouting matches. I think it was, Shamar and Matt got into what appeared to be a shouting match early on, and Karamoan, and that's just conflict. That's social dynamics. That I don't mind. But when people are threatening physical violence and throwing stuff and getting ready to go after somebody, that I think I didn't care for.
Yeah.
All right, next we have Kayla. Kayla is from Canada. So we've had a South African and a Canadian, eh? So here we go.
Hi, Dwayne and Dave. This is Kayla from Canada, leaving some feedback for episode 3. I want to start off with the people who I think started to come off not so great in this episode, and that's Jeremy and Natalie. I think Jeremy started off the season looking like a strategic player, but this last episode, his grudge against Rocker had nothing to do with gameplay and everything to do with avenging his wife, which is a good storyline for a character, a good emotional arc, but it doesn't exactly scream mastermind. And then there's Natalie, who's carrying on and yelling and cursing out not only John Rocker, but all of Coyopa. Does she not realize that if there's a swap or a shuffle, she might have to work with these people, and she has done a really poor job of endearing herself to them? The other thing that I think makes it look ominous for Jeremy was Keith at the end of Exile Island saying that Jeremy is the only thing standing in his way. And Keith's got good connections now because he's close with Josh now, who's obviously his son's closest ally on Coyopa, or if not closest ally, his son's dictator. I don't know. He's the one who gets things done. So his son's in a solid alliance with Josh, and now Keith is in with Josh. So it's looking pretty good for Keith. Now, on to...
Did you want to say something about that, David? I saw you nodding your head.
Well, I did, because I brought up the same thing in our recap, that Keith got the last word at Exile, saying Jeremy's the only one standing in my way. But about what we just talked about with people going off and whatever, were you good, Jatia, with everything that happened at the end of that challenge, the immunity challenge, the conversation back and forth? I personally don't mind at all Natalie saying you're getting rid of the strong people, you need to go after the big people. I don't mind that at all. I think it's great. It's social gameplay. It's people getting involved from both sides. It's when it got personal. When she actually said, you guys realize you're following a racist. That, to me, I didn't like that at all. I understood it, but I didn't like it. But I don't mind her saying at all that you guys need to change things up. You need to fix your tribe and go at it a different way. What'd you think?
I thought that, yes, she pointed it out, and I think that when you point it out in a big forum like that, it kind of holds a little bit more weight because everybody hears it, and so if you don't respond to it, you look weak. I think the racist thing, I mean, it's not nice, but let's be honest, Survivor is not nice. Survivor is a mean, dirty, nasty game, and you're calling people old, you calling people lazy, you calling people dumb, so like, I mean, where's the line? And she pushed it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
All right,
another way to alien.
Yes. And by the way, Jatia, if at any time you want to say something and we're in the middle of the audio feedback, and I'll stop it. So
I'll give you the church finger.
You just give me the finger. I mean, all right, here we go.
Coyopa, and the most prevalent dynamic, and obviously the sort of kingpin of that tribe, is the Josh and Baylor dynamic. And my take on Baylor is different than yours. I do agree that she does have the makings of a thinking player, but her social game is so bad, and I don't mean that in a mean way. It's not her strength. So at the beginning of the episode, we have her realizing that she needs to stop being dependent on Josh and start playing for herself. Good, girlfriend. Josh is not your lawyer. He's not going to advocate for you. This is Survivor. You can't place all the responsibility on him. It's not a good idea. At the same time, the episode ends with her, or right before Tribal, her last confessional is, I really hope I can count on Josh to come through with these guys' votes. I mean, she's in a situation where she says she doesn't want to depend on Josh, but she still is. But in the middle, we see her trying to make moves and advocate for herself, but the problem is she's not good at it. As soon as she starts talking to Wes and Alec, they just start humoring her. They're having none of it. They're not buying it. And in the process, she insults their intelligence by saying, you guys aren't thinking, and that obviously annoys them. That's the problem. She doesn't have a lot of social grace. Josh, who is her ally, has a lot of social grace. He's got good relations with everyone. He's able to get things done without seeming pushy or like the ringleader. He and Wes talk, and then Baylor comes in, and he sort of delegates to Wes and Baylor to go tell Jacqueline and Alec. And they keep this whole thing under wraps, and that's very much credit to Josh's social game, that he's able to bring people together in a way that Baylor's not. And that is why Baylor needs Josh. It's not that she can't have thoughts by herself or can't think of strategies by herself, but she needs someone who's able to implement them. I do think if someone else comes to her with a plan and she's like the swing vote, she can get pulled into that plan, but I don't see her formulating and following through on a plan that's all her own, because she doesn't have the skill to bring people to her. But it could be really interesting. It could really go one of two ways. I'm really liking their dynamic. The whole Coyopa tribe is fascinating to me. And yeah, I love your guys' recaps this season. I love listening to the feedback. Great job as usual. Take care, guys.
All right. Thank you, Kayla. Our Canadian, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think Baylor is. It's strange. Josh is doing more work and getting more confessionals, but it seems like Baylor is the one benefiting more because Josh isn't letting her get voted out. You know, and I understand that she's not running anything and she can't get Wes and Alec to give her the time of day, but at the same time, she told Josh in day one, it seemed like day one, I'm just doing what you're doing. Tell me what to do. And so far, Josh has kept her in the game. So maybe she's talked more to Josh than we're seeing, and she may not be able to get the guys, but at the same time, she's got Josh. I think she has Josh more than Josh realizes she has Josh because he saved her twice. So I think that actually is a feather in her cap that he's saved her.
What do you think, Jatia?
Yeah,
What do you think about Baylor?
So I think it's hard for a woman to be alpha on Survivor, to be outright alpha, especially in a group of men, just because of gender dynamics and how things work. I think Baylor might be in a good position because right now she's positioned, it seems like, very strongly as Josh's number 2. And if their tribe dwindles and then they have a core alliance going in, she might be in a position where they want to take out somebody from their core alliance and she might be able to flip it. So I don't think she's in a bad position where she's strongly in the alliance but not the head of the alliance. So just in case if there comes a time to merge and they see Josh as a strong player and they want to get rid of Josh, she can flip and form a new alliance. She can think about it. I think it's easier to become an alpha later in the game if you're female. Just my opinion.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right, let's move on. We have another feedback. We have 3 more feedback. That's all. Only 3. And then we can do our other fun
But they're all
stuff.
going to be like 2 minutes. No kidding.
No. All right, this is from Daniel. He says, "Hey, Dwaine and David, Daniel here again. I know, I hate to be the guy who keeps using a word over and over again, but I tried going to thesaurus.com, and there were no results for synonyms of train wreck. So I guess I'm stuck with the word when describing this season. I really didn't expect John going this episode, and it was another crazy blindside to this already train wrecky season." There, I said it. Anyway, on to my thoughts on the episode. Number 1. I found Natalie's outburst much more repulsive than John's counter-insult, yet everyone in game was mad at John for what he said, and seemingly fine with what Natalie said. I'm sad John's out, because now Natalie will feel good about what she did and thinks she's why John's out, and I can't stand the thought of that. It just irks me. I'm not really a fan of her anymore. Again, y'all, I don't think we saw everything that Rocker said. Of course, we probably didn't see everything Natalie said either. There you go. Numero 2. All right. Has no one really found the idol at Hunapu yet? Oh, yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
She finds John Rocker saying that he'll punch somebody's teeth out more repulsive than, I mean, to me, physical violence is like repulsive. More than anything you can say, sticks and stones can break my bones, but a punch in the face will break your nose. So, like, really. I just think that's the ultimate height, and to say that to a woman, I don't know. And so I disagree. I'm going to say that. Hey. I didn't like what Nadia said either, but him talking about punching somebody in the face, that's crossing the line. Because where I come from, you talk about punching somebody in the face, it's going down. Just saying. Right.
Well, like David and I talked about, we think that even his own tribe felt like he crossed the line. Which is, I mean, he got voted off.
Well, it's like you said, they were throwing jabs, and he threw a knockout punch.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, they didn't throw a knockout punch, they just threw jabs.
Yeah. All right, number 2. Has no one really found the idol at Hunapu yet? I just think they haven't shown it.
Yeah.
They had to have found it. The clue was so blatant. I mean, they almost put a big red spot where the idol was. Anyway, I continue. It seems strange. Jeremy's clues was a dead giveaway, and Keith's must have been even more so. But yet no one's found the darn thing. What's the reason for this? I don't know, but I think it'll tie in with what we heard John say at the Super Tease in a seemingly mocking voice. If anyone has the idol, they'll have to burn it. But more on that later. I personally think, don't you think they found an idol already? Yes? No?
I do.
Hello?
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah. Okay. Jatia?
I have nothing to say to that. Idols, I mean, it did seem very clear, the steps, do this, do that. So, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But
yeah,
clearly it's not important yet. So.
Yeah. They haven't showed us yet. Well, it's like I said in our recap. They'll probably show him finding it and say it was on day 12 or something.
Well, I mean, they could just Jeremy be in if Jeremy feels threatened at all, he could be in a conversation with Missy or somebody and just say, "Hey, by the way," and he'll open his bag and there's the idol. So.
Yeah. There has been no reason for them to show any kind of gameplay like that on Hunapu.
Yeah.
I mean, not till this episode coming up when I think they'll probably lose and go to tribal council. There you go. All right, number 3, I think Jeff mentioned in one of his interviews with Dalton Ross how the Lost Flint storyline hasn't ended yet. And I think whatever Drew says at the challenges, as suggested by the previews, involves that. Maybe that's what Keith thought was the, quote, worst move in Survivor history. Losing the Flint the first time wouldn't be so bad, but being the person who lost it the second time, yikes. Hey, JT, I got a question for you about that. If y'all had lost Flint, would you have just waited around till production gave you some more, or would you have thought you needed to ask for some?
I don't think production would have given us another Flint.
Okay.
Honestly, that's the way I see it. I don't think they would have given us another Flint. I mean, every season somebody goes 3 days with no Flint. I mean, so you go to tribal council or win something, you don't get Flint. So I don't think production would have given you a Flint.
Okay.
I think it comes up that you need a Flint and you would have bartered. I mean, I think we talked about maybe bartering for rice at one point in time when we lost rice. But it didn't come to that, so I don't think production would have given them another point.
Yeah.
They want that drama. They're not just going to be open.
Yeah, really.
So they went up there saying, all right, we'd like a bag of rice, and we want to borrow Jatia for the bag of rice.
I think that's basically what they wanted to do. So.
Because we lost the rice.
Right.
Yeah. All right, number 4. I think Drew's going to be the one to quit. I originally thought it was Wes based on the Super Tees, but Wes has gotten a neutral edit so far, which leads me to believe he doesn't quit. However, I've noticed that in the last 3 seasons, the people to quit have gotten very negative edits, with really no good moments at all. Examples being Shamar from Caramoan, portrayed as a lazy and complaining Marine, Colton from Blood vs. Water, portrayed as an over-strategic whiner who couldn't handle if things didn't go his way, and Lindsay from Cagayan, portrayed as an annoying and rowdy girl who laughs at other people's misery. The only one to have negative edit like the others here is Drew. He's been shown as a lazy, idiotic model who grates the tribe's nerves, and I even think at one point Jeremy said something along the lines of, if he's physically breaking down now, by day 20, Drew's going to want to quit. Foreshadowing much? Plus, what I thought was a hint at Wes going in the Super Tees was Keith saying, I'm glad he's gone. Would also fit Drew, as Keith is on Drew's tribe and would obviously comment if Drew were to quit. I think there are a lot of things pointing to this, and it's going to come soon if I'm correct. He has a good point about the edits.
He's got a lot of good evidence around that, especially from Keith, because Keith has already made comments about being lazy and stuff.
Yeah. And not to spoil the preview, but Drew's not in a good light this preview.
Yeah, he's a big part of this episode, apparently.
All right. He is ending his feedback. As far as other analytics go, I think that the burning the idol thing I mentioned earlier is going to come into play soon. With Keith or Jeremy finding the idol and someone like Drew saying that whoever has the idol has to burn it, being the person he is. Anyway, I would write more, but I'm pretty busy this time of year with family coming over and all, but I'll try to send in these weekly. Until then, goodbye, and keep up the good work. Daniel from Virginia.
Hey, hey.
Hey. That's where David's from right now, in Virginia.
Yep. That's where I'm from all the time.
Yes. Where are you at, Jatia? David's in Virginia. I'm in Alabama. Where are you?
I'm in Chicago.
Chicago.
So she recognizes the flag behind you.
Yes.
Yes, of course. The Blackhawks flag. Yeah. I did think. I was like, oh, okay. Yes. Love the Blackhawks. That's a game.
All right.
You're starting up.
So go ahead. Do you have something to say about that?
I don't have something to say. I actually have to say goodbye.
Oh,
okay. So it's getting a little late here, and I still have to walk that dog. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for having me on. I totally enjoyed this. I love talking about Survivor, and of course, my favorite subject in the world, myself. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I'd love to come back later on whenever you guys would have me.
Absolutely. And by the way, you look fabulous tonight.
Why, thank you. The hair is kicking, big as usual. Love it up and big. So.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure having you on, and hope to have you on again.
Yes, we'd love to have you back on again.
Yeah.
All right. I'll have to listen to the rest of the feedback tomorrow morning. Goodbye, you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, David. It's just us.
I told you it'd be awesome. And that was... We got dumped, but we got 90 minutes, and that was great.
I know. It was good.
It was real good.
She probably left just in time, though, because some unknown anonymous person has left us a feedback.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So we're going to play the audio. I have not heard it all yet. Have you heard it, David?
No. I stayed out of the email. I haven't heard any of these until just now.
All right. Well, we have an anonymous feedback who some of you have been listening to us for a while will recognize who this anonymous person is.
Oh, okay.
My name is Luca Brazzi of the Corleone family. Hello to my Goombas, D&D, and everyone.
Okay, I'm going to start that over because my volume was too low. So just...
I think I know who it is. Go ahead.
All right, here we go.
My name is Luca Brazzi of the Corleone family. Hello to my Goombas, D&D, and everyone in this family. Because I am a family man, I would like to say a few things about this season of Survivor. Because this season is all about the family. Yeah, I guess you could say it's a family show. You got a problem with that? If you do, I suggest you would keep it to yourself. In other words, keep your big mouth shut or you'll be sleeping with the fishes. Week 1, Big Mouth Nadia calls Josh a girl. Yeah, right. She's out. Week 2, Big Mouth Val's got 2 idols. Yeah, right. She's out. Week 3, Big Mouth John. Hey, what can I say? Bada bing, bada bop. He's out. You get the picture? Lose the loose lips, keep the old guy, and take the cannoli.
Hey, mama, keep your big mouth shut. Keep your big mouth shut.
He's gonna get us kicked off.
Mama, keep your big mouth shut. Keep your big mouth shut. You gotta see.
I gotta stop it. I can't have a song on this show.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if he said anything at the end. Just a second, I'll see. No, he didn't. It's all music.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to get tagged on YouTube, and I'm going to get a strike for having music on my show. Thank you, whoever you were.
From New York?
From Jazzy.
Yeah.
All right. All right, y'all. That is, thank you. Boy, I'm so glad he left feedback. I always like his original feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Miko Challenge. I've taken this challenge already today, although my points don't count. Mm-hmm. This one is for David, but Connie gave it to me beforehand, and let me just say, David, I hope you watched the show more than twice.
I actually turned it on. I actually put it on the laptop today while I was working on the feedback after you cleared it out so I could go in there. Just played it. Just randomly played it. Just to get quotes in my head. The question is, did I look to see who said them when they said
That's not going to help you.
I know.
All right, here we go. Quote number 1. These are for 1 point each. He's going to drop it. You're good.
Oh, that would be from the reward challenge. So that would be... How about who's going to drop it? You know, it's funny. The only 2 people that were really making shouts and cheering during the reward challenges were Dale and Kelly, the father-daughter. To me, they were the loudest 2. And I'm pretty sure that was Kelly at the beginning.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, because I don't remember Dale saying that, although he did shout.
You got it right, David.
Booyah! I'm telling you, watching it 6 times.
I got that one wrong. Quote number 2. I have no idea if I'm making the right decision.
That's got to be Josh, because he was the one making the decisions at the end.
Is that your final answer, David?
This is not Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. If I got it right, tell me. If I don't, then say, is that your final answer? Yes, it's Josh. Is that Josh?
Yes, you got that right, too. Sure. All right, number 3. He's doing things that aren't going to be helpful for the tribe.
Well, that's also Josh talking about Rocker.
Are you sure?
That's my final answer.
And slowly getting picked off.
But you said this was hard.
Shut up. Number 4. I don't understand how you don't feel the need to pull your own weight.
That's Natalie talking to Drew at doing the palm fronds. You don't remember that? Listen, I'll be honest with you. Dwaine said
I got that right. I got that one right.
But you asked me while I was watching it, but the more I watched this episode, it's like only a few people talked. There were some people that never talked.
Yeah, whatever. Number 5. Wasn't me again, so I guess I'm all right.
That was in this episode. That rings
good.
no bells. That rings no bells.
I'm glad you don't know that one.
Say that again.
I got that one right, so I'm finally... Wasn't me again, so I guess I'm all right.
See, my first thought is Flint, but Flint didn't come up in this one. I got the pictures in front of me. See, nobody from Hunapa really said anything unless it had to do with Rocker or Julie, so I'll guess somebody from Coyopa. It wasn't me. Sounds like something Jacqueline could say, but it wasn't about her, but she hardly spoke. I'm going to say Alec.
Is that your final answer?
Sure. So I guess I get that one wrong.
It was Wes.
When did he say that?
It was at Tribal Council.
Was that after he said what we're doing? Because that was I laughed out. I said, "Dad, you're not playing by yourself."
Brooks like, does that make you nervous? And he kind of rambles and goes, but it wasn't me, so I guess I'm all right.
Oh, okay.
Number 6, everybody's bloody except for me.
Oh, that was Dale after the immunity challenge.
Is that your?
Because he offered to go get water. That's my final answer.
Yes, I got that one right too. Number 7, he's not gonna win $1 million.
That's Jeremy talking about Drew.
That's your final answer?
Just hit the horn.
Is it your final answer, David?
Yes. Well, we're nearing 2 hours. Just hit the horn if we get the right answer.
Don't be impatient. You know how much we hate listening to podcasts where the hosts get impatient.
Oh, sorry.
Can't wait to get off and all that kind of junk. All right, number 8. I agree. We got to make a move tonight. I agree. We've got to make a move tonight.
That was one of a less. I'm going to say Alec because I don't remember Wes saying much of anything. Because it wasn't Baylor. I think it was her talking to the Alec and Wes. And I'll say Alec because I don't remember Wes talking a lot then. Alec. A-L-E-C. Yeah? Hey.
I got that one wrong. Number 9, you can't go with the flow.
That would be Baylor. Is that the name of her new song?
You can't go with the flow when you're playing Survivor. Hey, I kind of thought of a little bit of a rocker rap.
Uh-oh.
My name is Rocker, and I'm bigger than you. I'm dating Julie, and she's hotter than you. I got an idol in my pocket, but I don't care. I got more money than I know what to do with already over there. All right, number 10.
Okay.
You got to play your own game. Number 10. If you get this right, I'm going to smack you across the face.
Can you reach through? Because I remember that one. Actually, I remember that one from today.
Shut up.
Today. That was Baylor's mom. Where's she at? Missy talking to Julie after the rocker incident.
Is that your final answer?
Missy. What?
Just kidding.
Oh, I was about to say. Couldn't think of anybody else that would say
I'm so ticked off. I only got 6 of those, and you got 9.
Yeah, but you did real well last week.
Whatever. Question number 1, David. Who was the first person to show sympathy towards Jeremy when he found out Val was gone?
Ooh.
You get 3 points if you name it, or 1 point if I have to give you the 3 people.
Missy?
Now, a chance at 1 point.
Okay.
Natalie, Reed, or Drew?
Natalie?
Who
was it?
It was Drew. He put a hand on Jeremy's shoulder.
Really?
Yes. Question number 2, David.
Mm-hmm.
What did the 5... This is ridiculous question, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
What did the 5 people voting for Rocker write on the parchment? You get 0.6 points per person.
Do I have to name the people or just what they wrote?
You have to name what each person wrote.
Well, I know that Jacqueline and Josh, because they showed it, both wrote Jon for John, if that's what he's talking about. Jon, and then the other 3 wrote John. I'm guessing all 3 of the other 3 wrote John.
And who were they?
Baylor, Alec, and Wes. Probably
I'm so ticked off.
I remember that specifically because somebody wrote Jon at when Probst read it, the first one, And I said, that must be Jacqueline because she thinks his name is spelled like John's. And then when
Well,
they showed the video at the end, they showed Josh first, and he wrote I said, oh, Josh did it. So, and then they showed all of them, and it was her too. So,
I mean,
photographic memory, dude. I can't remember my courses in college, but I can remember who voted. I just
you know what I
stuck in my
said?
head.
I
What?
got this one wrong. You know what I said?
What? They wrote Rocker or something?
Yes. I said, well, I don't know who wrote what. I don't pay attention to that. So I'll just say they all wrote Rocker because of the way he asked the question.
No, that's funny that he asked it because as soon as he asked it, I remember that Josh spelled it wrong too.
Yeah, funny that he asked it.
I bet you'll be watching 3 or 4 times.
Sounds a little suspicious to me. Like maybe he knew you were going to pay attention to that.
Oh.
All right, question number 3.
Are we not happy anymore? Is it
I'm
not
not.
fun? Okay, good.
What animals were there on the 3rd episode?
Are you serious? What animals?
Are you going to listen?
I don't watch for animals. Go ahead.
Are you serious? Oh my, you idiot.
What animals were there on the 3rd episode? Animals that the castaways eat don't count, and neither do monkeys or crabs. You get 1 point per animal, a maximum of 3 points.
I
There
remember
were
a bunch
4
of
animals.
I remember a bunch of blackbirds, but I think that was the next time on Survivor because that was like right at the beginning. Oh, there's an alligator eating a fish, which they ate fish, so I can't count the fish. There was an alligator because I saw that today. Oh, can't count monkeys, and I can't count what they ate, which was another catfish that he brought up on the beach.
You can say up to 4 animals because there were 4.
Oh, so I guess 4. I guess
And you've
alligator.
said- right now you've said alligator.
So should I say crocodile just to make sure it's not one or the other?
That would be 2 different animals. You must decide on which one.
All right, I'm gonna use both because I have no idea what the other two
No,
are.
you can't use both. That's one. There's 2 different animals.
Well, then that's 2 of my guesses.
Oh, okay.
Mr.
Sorry.
Meany. That's right. That's 2 of my guesses.
All right, crocodile and
And
alligator.
I'll say a snake and a bird. Of course, I probably got to get specific with a bird.
You would have to get suspicious.
A 2-winged bird.
Oh, really? By golly, you got it. No, come on. What's your other one? You've gotten 2 correct so far.
I don't know if I can't use. You said I couldn't use a what? Can't use a monkey.
Right, you can't use a
Yeah.
monkey or a crab.
What about a scorpion? Was there a scorpion? There was a scorpion this time. Okay.
All right, the answers are vultures,
Oh,
crocodiles,
good. Glad I said both.
snake,
Ah.
and spider.
Oh, spiders. I got 2.
There were also lots of other kinds of birds than vultures, but in order to get points for those, you have to know the species. I don't know them, but in the off chance that David does, I can fact check.
No. There
So
were
if you
birds.
had
I don't
said,
remember specific.
I saw a red-tipped beaglebutt.
He would have gone back and checked.
He would have gone back. All right. We are losing viewers through this
Yes.
Miko challenge. Number 4. That's probably because it's late. Who was the person that announced Keith sitting out from the immunity challenge?
Kelly. Because I remember when she said it, she had this mane of blonde
Are you
hair.
freaking kidding me?
I'm telling you, this is why I watched it again.
Shut up.
When she said it, she had this much blonde hair around. I'm like, did she borrow Jacqueline's
I don't know
hair?
You know what bugs me about this, and I'm actually being a little bit of a sore loser right now, is that you went back and watched the episode just because you knew you were going to get the Miko challenge. So you started looking for specific type of detail things. All right, I'm done.
It's called studying.
Shut up.
Sorry.
Best friend in the world. Shut up.
My
Number
buddy.
5. Huh?
My buddy and me. Sorry.
Shut up. You got a friend in me, you little jerkwad. You got a friend in me. I hate the way you...
Mr. Triple Watcher.
Yeah. How many people got to speak during one scene or less in the 3rd episode?
Oh,
Not
my
counting
gosh.
tribal council or challenges.
All right, I got my
I got
traps
this
in
one.
front of me.
Are you kidding me?
No, I got the pictures in front of me.
By the way, I did not use pictures when I took this. I was sitting on the couch next to my beautiful wife, and I was distracted by her beauty.
All right. Well, speaking of beauty, Jacqueline. What was the question again? You said
How
didn't
many
speak.
people? Just a sec. How many people got to speak during one scene or less in the third episode, not counting tribal council or challenges?
Well, I'm going to say Reed, because Reed doesn't say anything. So Jacqueline, Reed, and let's see, he spoke.
You don't have to name the people, just how many.
Oh. How many? 5.
Your choices are 2, 3, or 4.
I'll say 3, since I was going to guess 3. Was it 4?
It was 4.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, shoot.
All right, so you got, let's see, 9 plus 3, that's 12, plus 3, that's 15, plus 2, that's 17, plus 3, that's 20. Blasted. Just shut up. I don't want to talk to you anymore. All right, y'all, it's time.
Oh, are we still going? Okay.
The D&D challenge results. And we have been on for almost 2 hours, so David, let's not waste any more time.
All right, we're going to start from the bottom and go to the top. So
Yes.
we'll be mostly covering Dwayne's team.
Mostly my team. This is just ridiculous. I am getting annihilated in
All right.
this.
These are, by the time you listen to this, if you're not listening live, our page should be updated if you just want to go to there and read it.
Yeah, you're going to update it tonight, right?
Yeah. But we're going to go down the list. Jacqueline and Dale both had 4 points each because they were on the show, and they were in the reward challenge tribe that won because West won for their tribe. Then my one low score was Kelly at 6 because she was in the show, and she won an immunity challenge. She was on the tribe that won immunity challenge. So, no confessionals. Also, Reed and John Mish from Dwayne's team had an appearance and immunity challenge win, no confessionals.
Yes, notice out of the first 5 lowest scoring people, 4 are from my team.
I did not draft for you, so I have no control over that. You take the blame for that all by yourself. Wait till we get to the top. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Then we have 3 people getting 8 points. Alec, who got an appearance point, his tribe won reward, and he had 2 confessionals.
Now I'm 5 and you're 1.
And then Missy, who had 8 points, an appearance, immunity tribe win, and 1 confessional.
I'm 6 and you're 1.
Then we had Drew, who appearance, immunity challenge, tribe win, and 1 confessional.
Yeah. Now we're getting to David's people.
Yes.
The higher scoring group.
2 people had 10 points each, Julie and Natalie, for the same things. Appearance point, immunity challenge, tribe win, and 2 confessionals each. And then Wes, another one of my people, had 11 points for an appearance. He won the reward challenge, and he was on the tribe that won the reward challenge, and he had 1 confessional. Then we have Dwayne's highest scorer and only person in double digits, which is Baylor at 12. She had an appearance. She was on the tribe that won reward, and she had 4 confessionals, which still wasn't the top confessional. I had 3 people.
See Baylor. Mine doesn't say Baylor.
Yeah. Did you print the one I put in the feed, Facebook message feed? Or did you print hers?
I print hers. There's no Baylor on it. Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah.
I see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then we come to the top 4, which are all from my tribe.
Yeah.
Jeremy only got 12 points this week for an appearance, immunity tribe win, 3 confessionals.
Wait. If he and Baylor had the same score, why is he in the top 4 and Baylor not?
She's alphabetically ahead of him, so I put her higher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it.
And then Keith, bless his heart, if not for Exile Island, he would not be getting all these confessionals and all these extra points. He had 18 points this week. An appearance point, immunity challenge win point, 5 confessionals. Probably 4 of them were at Exile, and he got points for going to Exile Island.
Ridiculous.
And then the top 2 point scorers were John Rocker and Josh, both from my tribe. 23 points each. They both had an appearance. They both were on the reward challenge winning tribe. Rocker had 5 confessionals. He said blindside. He got title credit, and he had an immunity idol, which he no longer has because he's not on the show anymore. And then Josh had an appearance point, reward challenge tribe win, 8 confessionals, plus he went to Exile, plus he said blindside. That number 1 pick is getting me some points, baby.
Man.
Yes.
David has 348 points.
Yes.
I have 202.
I'm so glad you broke the 200 barrier. I was worried about that.
Man. At the rate I'm going. David got 121 points this week. I got 48.
You've gotten 48 2 weeks in a row. You should get a point for that.
Ridiculous.
And you're down 2 players, and I'm down 1.
Yeah. All right, man. You have any final thoughts?
No. I don't think so. I'm going to try and get online and update our Facebook, our STWDD site, and get the points on there so y'all can just go there instead of trying to remember what I just said.
Yeah, really. All right, everybody. Thanks for shopping Amazon. You can follow me on Twitter at Survivor_talk. Join our Facebook group. We're trying to get to 500, and we're well on our way. So facebook.com/group/SurvivorTalk. And one more thing. We're trying to get to 10. We have 7 people who support us on Patreon with as little as $1 or $2 a month, or you can give more, buy us a cup of coffee or something. Go to Patreon, Patr, I don't know what it is, Patreon, spell it, patreon.com/SurvivorTalk, and give us a little coffee. It's not that much, but every little bit helps. So let's see if we can get 10 supporters. Right now we have 7.
Okay. So we're going to stay on the air live until we get 10. Is that right?
No, we're not. Because we've had Patreon for like 6 months, and we have 7.
Yeah, we'll be watching the next couple episodes before that happens live.
Yeah. So, anyway, I failed to use this wonderful sound clip that I downloaded, so let me play it now. All right.
Is that for my performance in the Miko Challenge or for the Fantasy Challenge? Both wrong answers. Okay.
By the way, Andy Baker just put up his, just dropped his, what's it called, column?
Baker's dozen.
I am tired, man.
I can tell.
It's almost tomorrow where you are.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to let you go. So music for tonight's show is Summit by Skrillex, because I still have not written a parody. Don't know if I will. I haven't been inspired. The closest I've come is my rocker rap.
Which didn't really rap.
My name is John Rocker, and I'm richer than you, and I'm dating Julie, and she's hotter than you. That's about all I got.
You used the same word to rhyme twice.
Huh?
You used you twice, and I didn't know you were supposed to do that. Be more creative. We'll give you time. We'll accept that as not one, and we'll give you time.
All right. And I'm dating Julie, and her favorite color is blue.
It's her tribe. That's right. You're tired.
I had an idol in my pocket going jing-o-ling-o-ling. Thought I'd call you on the telephone, give you a ring. But each time I try, I get the same old thing. You're a racist. Every time he tries to help people, they call him that.
That's right.
All right. Oh my. Yes, I know. I need to get off. Thanks again for listening, everybody. That is all I've got. How about you, Dave?
Thank you, Jatia. And that's all I got as well.
Yeah, Jatia was awesome tonight. Thank you. And bye, everybody.
See ya.